So, good morning, students.
Good morning.
Today's objective is to differentiate between points on the demand and supply curve. Now, first of all, let me draw a demand curve. Now, this is the vertical axis, and this is the horizontal axis. On the vertical axis, we have price of the good. Okay? And on the horizontal axis, we have quantity of the good. Okay? Now, let's assume the good is t-shirt. Okay? Per month. T-shirt per month. So, now if the price of the t-shirt is, let's say, $10. Okay, let's say $10. And then we decided to buy one t-shirt. We decided to buy one t-shirt. Okay, so we're going to put a dot here. Okay. Now, if the price falls to $5, and then we bought two t-shirts, then we're going to put another dot somewhere here. Okay. So, and when we connect the dots, now let's connect the dots. Okay, so this is the demand curve D1. So you see that there are points on the demand curve. There are points on the demand curve. And these points on the demand curve, they indicate the law of demand. The points on the demand curve indicate the law of demand. Because the law of demand states that ceteris paribus, all else remaining equal, as price falls, the quantity demanded increases. Okay, so as price falls, the quantity demanded increases. Okay, and as price rises from 5 to 10, the quantity demanded decreases. Okay. So, let me summarize again. The vertical axis is represented by price of the good, and the horizontal axis is represented by the quantity of the good. Now, if the good is t-shirts per month, and the price is $10. At $10, we bought one t-shirt. We plan to buy one t-shirt. And when the price fell to $5, we plan to buy two t-shirts. So, as a result, we move from one point, we could call this point A, to point B. are indicative of the law of demand, which states that ceteris paribus, as price falls, the quantity demanded increases from 1 to 2. And, or as price rises, ceteris paribus, the quantity demanded decreases from 2 to 1. That is the law of demand explaining points on the demand curve. Now, in contrast, points on the supply curve, in contrast. So, again, we have the vertical axis, price. On the horizontal axis, we have quantity. Okay? So, if at $10, the quantity supplied is 2. Okay? And at $5, the quantity supplied is 1. Okay? So now we connect the dots. Okay? So we connect the dots. So you see here the supply curve, we notice a difference here. The demand curve is downward sloping, and the supply curve is upward sloping. And what we notice is that there are 2 points on the supply curve, just like you have 2 points on the demand curve. The 2 points on the demand curve, we said, are indicative of the law of demand. The 2 points on the supply curve are indicative of the law of supply. Of the law of supply. Because the law of supply says that ceteris paribus, as price increases from 5 to 10, the quantity supplied increases from 1 to 2. Now in this case, quantity supplied, again, t-shirts, per month. T-shirts per month. And as price rises from 5 to 10, the quantity supplied increases from 1 to 2 per month. And as price falls, the quantity supplied decreases from 2 to 1 per month. So the law of supply explains the points on the supply curve. We could say this point A and this point B. Points A and B indicate movement along the demand curve. Points A and B also on the supply curve also indicate movement along the supply curve. Now, how does movement along the demand curve and the supply curve, or how does the law of demand and the law of supply differ from the determinants of demand and supply? Differ from the determinants of demand and supply. Now, when we talk about movement along the demand curve or movement along the supply curve, we are talking about changes in the quantity demanded or changes in the quantity supplied. The only reason why there is a change in the quantity demanded or a change in the quantity supplied is only as a result of one reason. And that reason, as you can see on the vertical axis, is only because of a change in price. You see, as price changes, quantity demanded changed. You see that? And as price also changed, or supplied, the quantity supplied also changed. Now, when we talk about the determinants of demand, we talk about determinants of demand. We are talking about the shift of the entire demand curve or the entire supply curve. The shift to the right or to the left. Now, the reason for a movement along the demand and the supply curve is only as a result of a change in price. But the reason for a shift of the entire supply curve, the reason for a shift of the entire supply curve from S1 to S2, okay, or from S1 to S3. Or from D1 to D2, or from D1 to D3. Okay, from D1 to D3. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the reason for the shift of the entire demand curve or for the shift of the entire supply curve are due to other reasons other than price. The reason for a change in the quantity demanded is only as a result of a change in price. But the reason for the shift of the demand of the supply curve or the shift of the demand curve is due to other factors different from price. Okay? So in this case here, you see the demand curve has shifted to the right, which is indicative of an increase in demand. So the demand curve has shifted to the right, which we call, this is what we call increase in demand. Or it has shifted to the left, which is indicative of a decrease in demand. And over here, it has shifted to the right, which is indicative of increase in supply. And over here, it has shifted to the left, which is decrease in supply. Okay? So, now, what are the reasons? What are the reasons for the shift, for the increase in demand, or for the decrease in demand? And what are the reasons for the increase in supply and for the decrease in supply? What are the reasons? If the reason is not as a result of a change in price, if it's not, then what are the reasons? And one of those reasons for a change in demand, we call them determinants. Determinants of demand, or we call them demand shifters. One of the reasons for the change in demand, for the entire demand curve to shift to the right or to the left, one of the reasons is consumer incomes, change in consumer incomes. Change in consumer income. Now we have to be very careful here when we say change in consumer income, that when consumer income increases, that demand is going to increase. That is very simplistic. If consumer income increases and the good is a normal or superior good, demand will increase. But if the good is an inferior good and consumer income increases, demand will decrease. Okay? So change in income normal or superior good. So if the demand for the good, if the good is a normal or superior good and income increases, the demand will increase. Demand will increase and shift to the right. So if your income increases and the good is a normal or superior good like automobile, as your income increases, the demand for automobile or for electronic equipment will increase. But if your income increases and the good in question is an inferior good, like used automobile tires, so as your income increases, your demand will decrease for used automobile tires. So the demand will decrease, shift to the left. Inferior good. So as we said, if your income changes or increases, your demand for inferior good will decrease. If your income falls and the good is an inferior good, your demand for it will increase. Okay? So 2, what is another determinant of demand? Which is consumer taste. Consumer taste or preferences. Consumer taste or preferences. So if a good is your taste or your preference, your demand for it will increase. If a good is not of your taste or preference, your demand for it will decrease. Okay? So 3, consumer expectations. Consumer expectations. Now, if you expect that the price is for the good, if you expect that the price of the t-shirt will fall in the near future, your demand will decrease. If you expect that the price will rise in the near future for the t-shirt, your demand will increase. 4, the price of related goods. The price of related goods. So the price of related goods. Now, what are related goods? Related goods are substitute goods, and complementary goods. Substitute goods and complementary goods. Now, substitute goods are goods that satisfy the same need. They satisfy the same need. So therefore, for example, Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi, they both satisfy the same need, which is the need for diet soda. So if the price of the two, Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi, are the same, $1, $1 each, and suddenly there is a fall in the price of Diet Coke, okay, there's going to be a decrease in demand for Diet Pepsi. So if there is again, let me explain. If they both cost $1 each, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, they both cost $1 each. Yesterday, for example, they both cost $1, and today, Diet Coke now is cheaper than Diet Pepsi. So, in other words, there is a fall in the price of Diet Coke. As a result, there's going to be a decrease in demand for Diet Pepsi. So, the demand for Diet Pepsi will shift to the left. Because the price of a good that is related to Diet Pepsi has fallen. Okay? Now, if there is a rise in the price of Diet Coke, the demand for Diet Pepsi will rise or increase. Okay? The reason is because the price of a good related to Diet Pepsi has changed or increased. Now, that's substitute goods. Now, the complementary goods. Complementary goods are goods that we use together. Things that we use together, like bread and butter. Okay? Cell phone and charger, and so on and so forth. So things we use together. So if the price of bread rises, the demand for butter will decrease or shift to the left. If the price of bread falls, for example, buy one, get one free, the demand for butter will increase, okay, which is shift to the right. Okay? So, bread will be, for example, good A, and butter will be good B. So, if the price of good A, complementary good, falls, the demand for good B will increase. Okay? So, now, okay. So now the fifth determinant of demand, will be 5. The number of buyers. The number of buyers or population. For example, if you live alone, probably you buy one loaf of bread per week. But if population in your household increases from 1 to 2 persons, probably you'll now be buying 2 loaves of bread per week. You see, your demand has increased for loaves of bread, not because the price of bread fell, but because population or the number of buyers increased. If suddenly now you are alone again in the home, your demand will decrease, not because the price went up, but because the population or the number of buyers has decreased. Okay? So, these are the determinants of demand, or what's called demand shifters. Demand shifters, to the right or to the left. They are demand shifters. The demand shifters are called the determinants of demand. If you look here, there is nowhere that I said that price of the good is a determinant of demand. No, price of the good is not a determinant of demand. The price of the good is what causes movement along the demand curve. But it is not what causes the shift to the right or to the left, or the increase or the decrease. What causes the increase or decrease or shift to the right or to the left are the determinants of demand, which are 5. Okay? So now, when we come now to the supply side, what are the determinants of supply? What causes the supply curve to shift to the right, which is increase in supply, or to the left, which is decrease in supply? What are the factors? And how are they different from the determinants of demand? Okay? So the factors that cause the supply, we'll call them the determinants of supply. when the price of inputs, Now, what are inputs? Inputs are those factor resources that we use in our production process. Okay? So, for example, the price of land or the price to rent a particular room or building or location. The price that we have to pay for labor. The price that we have to pay for capital. And the price that we have to pay for to pay the entrepreneur, which is the what we call the normal profit, which is the cost of doing business. Now, the price of inputs, as the price of inputs rises, profits fall. And when profits fall, the supply will decrease. As the price of inputs fall, profits increase, and therefore supply will increase. I'll shift to the right. 2. Producer expectations. Producer expectations. If the producer expects that the price of his product are going to increase in the near future, supply will decrease. Shift to the left. If the producer expects that his price is going to increase is going to decrease in the near future, supply will increase. 3. The price of substitute in production. The price of substitute in production. Now, for example, what does that mean? Assuming a producer has a machine, or let's say a computer, and with this computer, it can produce 2 goods, A and B. And which good will you think the producer is going to use his computer to produce? The producer is going to use his computer to produce that good that commands the highest price in the marketplace. So, if the price of good A that the producer could produce is, let's say, $100 for, or $10 for a t-shirt, and $10 for a t-shirt, and another good, B, let's say a blanket, commands $20 in the marketplace. So, is the producer going to produce good A or good B? The producer is going to produce good B, because good B, which is the blanket, commands a higher price in the marketplace than the t-shirt. Why should I use my hands, for example, to produce that which is going to fetch me lower price, when I could use my hand, the same hand, to produce that which is going to fetch me a higher price? Okay? So, in this case, the producer is going to use his machinery, tools, and equipment to produce the blanket, because in the marketplace, the blanket commands a higher price. So, therefore, the demand for the blanket, the supply of the blanket is going to increase. The supply of the blanket is going to increase. Why? Because the price of the substitute in production, the price of the substitute good that in production, which is t-shirt, is lower than the price of the blanket. Because remember, the producer wants to maximize his profit. The higher the price, the higher, the more likely the producer will be able to maximize his profit. Okay? So, 4. Taxes and or subsidies. Taxes and or subsidies. Taxes are what we pay to the government. And taxes are viewed by most businesses as cost. So as taxes are levied or declared, production cost increases. And as production cost increases, what happens to profit? Profit declines. And whenever profit declines, what happens to supply? Supply decreases. But as taxes fall, form of a tax cut, okay, production cost falls, profit increases, and therefore supply increases. Subsidies are taxes in reverse. Subsidies, taxes we pay to the government. Subsidies we receive payment from the government. Okay? So, when subsidies increase, production costs fall, profit rise, and supply increase. When subsidies decrease, production costs rise, profit falls, and supply decrease or shift to the left. Okay. Now, so these are the determinants of supply, and the last one here is technology. Technology and productivity. Technology or productivity. Technology and or productivity. Technology and or productivity. Now, if our technique of production improves in form of using more faster machinery, tools and equipment, or eliminating waste of time, and because of our method of production has improved or has experienced a positive technological change, when that happens, the per unit cost falls, profit rises, and therefore supply increases. But when our method of production or productivity is experiencing a negative technological change, probably because of a destruction of the production facilities, or because of our machinery, tools and equipment are not efficient and speedy or fast, because our workers are not as well trained as workers in other businesses or other countries, or probably because our managers are not very skillful. So if for any of these reasons we experience a negative technological change, this implies a rise in production cost because of a rise in per unit cost, and a fall in profit, and therefore a decrease in supply. Now, just to summarize in one or two sentences, movement along the demand curve or movement along the supply curve is only as a result of one reason, which is a change in price only. Now, a shift of the demand curve to the right, which is increase, a shift of the demand curve to the left, which is decrease in demand, is as a result of other factors other than price. And those factors are what's called the determinants of demand. Finally, the increase in supply or the decrease in supply is as a result of other factors other than price of the good. The reason for the increase in supply or decrease in supply is a result of the determinants of supply. It is as a result of the change in one or more of the determinants of supply. Thank you.